Welcome, everybody. This is the fourth of our Pathways Off the Plateau webinars, where we hear from useful service providers in our tech ecosystem. And we're joined today by Susie Jones, who's the Associate Head of the Sheffield Business School at Sheffield Hallam University, who'll be introducing us to the Help to Grow programme and the other support the university can offer to small and scaling technology businesses. So without further ado, Susie, I'm going to hand over to you.
Hello, everybody, and thanks for the invite for today. I hope it's going to be useful. I think if if all we do is go away and you know what we've got to offer at Sheffield Hallam and what we can help you with as a small to medium-sized business within the local region, although we are going to talk about KTPs as well. So if you're larger than that as well, that is something you can tap into, and that will be useful. And the slides have got QR codes which give you more information, because as all of these briefings, it can be overwhelming with the amount of information given. So if you were interested, there's direct opportunity to learn more. And I've also put my email address on there, so feel free at any time to get in contact if you've got any questions. And I think there's an opportunity at the end, Chris, isn't there, for some Q&A anyway?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Perfect. So that's me. I've already done the introduction, so I'll move on to the first slide. I don't know how familiar you are with Sheffield Hallam. I know Chris has mentioned that a couple of you had maybe done Help to Grow. So if that's the case, when I talk about Help to Grow, if you've got anything to add about your experience, please feel free to share. That would be really helpful to the others in the room. But we've recently moved the business school to just opposite the station, which is a great location. It's called the Langsets building, and as you walk up from the station, it's that first big building with Sheffield Business School plastered on the quite high up on the front of the building. And as you walk into that first set of doors, rotating doors straight from the station, that is our business hub. And we're hoping it's going to be a business hub of activity where we have businesses who use the space for their own use, but also eventually collaborate with some of our students. And, a really great location. And we start to work together to build on that. So that is work in process, but do come in and use that space if you'd like to, or if you'd like to have a look around and see the facilities, again, get in contact with me. I'd be happy to share that with you. So I work as part of the Business Hub alongside colleagues who specialise in some of the areas that I'm going to talk about today around knowledge transfer partnerships, or indeed Help to Grow, etc. So we can help you with those inquiries. So Help to Grow, well, I mean, I can't really say anything but what a brilliant opportunity Help to Grow is, in that it's a 12-module funded course for, and when I say funded, it's 90% government funded, for SMEs to help grow their business, and access to experts that come in and teach some of the modules, as well as our own team at Sheffield Hallam, but also one-to-one mentoring from any mentor on the massive national system. So if you have a personal challenge and it's around you, but it obviously is going to help with the business, then you can choose that mentor. And that, we've had some really good feedback from people working with mentors and helping them with particular challenges and understanding their business and what their needs are. And then peer-to-peer networking and mentoring. So I'm sure that whoever's been and done Help to Grow, who might be on the call today, that they've probably kept in touch. I'd like to think they've kept in touch with some of their peers off their course, because that is really rich in just sharing experiences and networking. So that's fabulous. We also offer a growth action plan. So as part of the course, you will fill in a plan on how you would propose to grow your business, what support you'll need. But then, that doesn't happen overnight, does it? So it's a bit around, coming back and having that opportunity within a peer group as well, and also with what we call a development consultant who looks after you throughout the duration of your course to see where you are, to reset, and plan going forward. I think the best thing really for Help to Grow is to go and click on that QR code and just go straight to the case studies, because they are from, you know, from the South Yorkshire region. So very much, I can assuming people like yourselves who've been on the course, and it shows real impact. You know, how have they grown the company? What does that look like in terms of sales capacity, resource, new markets, and you know, sort of really talking about how Help to Grow has helped support that. So I think if you've got an opportunity, you know, click on the QR code and have a look at that. Help to Grow is very much around any SME. It needs to be with regards to having at least a minimum of 5 employees to get on the Help to Grow programme. And when we say it's 90% government funded, it will cost you about £750 to do the course, which is, like I say, over 50 hours of support and contact time. So it really is worth it. The reason I'm sort of emphasising that is Made Smarter is also another initiative led by Simca. Actually, some of you might be aware of it, the South Yorkshire Mayoral Combined Authority, bit of a mouthful, who also funds the Made Smarter programme. And this is specifically for manufacturing companies. So if you're in the room and you're a manufacturing company and you're interested in digital transformation, these are fully funded courses. So we run 2 courses at Sheffield Hallam around the Made Smarter agenda, which is around digital transformation and digital leadership skills and technology skills. So that's really worth getting involved in. And like I say, it doesn't cost anything to be part of Made Smarter. All you need to do is register and sign up using the QR code. We'll do a roadmap with you and make sure you're eligible. And then also we have a fully funded 3-month digital intern who can drive innovation. So they will be a graduate of an area you advertise it. Sheffield Hallam facilitate this process. So we have an internship coordinator who will help you shape your advert. It will go out to wherever to all of the across the whole, because it's not just Sheffield, so you can go across to out to all universities and to other trade magazines, attracting graduates who are looking for employment. But this is the first step, a 3-month internship, and you can shape it to whatever you want that role to look like, with the intention of looking at talent going forward. It might be that you want to keep on that graduate, or simply it's just it's helpful for those 3 months. So again, if you are interested in that, you need to sign up first to Made Smarter and register, and then you can register your interest around getting that digital intern. The next cohort for digital interns starts in April, so that's the 1st of April 2026, and it runs till the 31st of March 2027. So you would need to start recruiting in April for you to get that 12 weeks in if you were wanting to go down that route. So yeah, another thing that we do, and we're not alone in this, is knowledge transfer partnerships, which are funded by Innovate UK. I've actually run 2 of these and been an academic supervisor. And what does that mean? Well, the knowledge transfer partnership is exactly that. It's a 3-way partnership. So it's where you recruit, with help from a partner university, a graduate that has completed their training. It doesn't have to be necessarily from Sheffield Hallam. If you're doing it at Sheffield Hallam, again, we just recruit externally, and you can interview your graduate, and they need to work on an innovation project, and it's usually between 18 and 24 months. It can be longer, a knowledge transfer partnership. And for that, the Innovate UK will pay. If you're an SME, it goes up depending on how big your business are. But if you're an SME, then the Innovate UK will pay 60% of the funding. 67%. So it's probably about 33% that you'd be paying for the funding of this knowledge transfer partnership. And the idea is that the associate the employee works for you, they work in the company, they work on a project, but they have a direct resource of an academic at the university who will be their academic supervisor, who they will be matched to whatever. So, for example, if it's something to do with engineering, it would be an engineering academic, and they would be working closely to help support and mentor that graduate, so they get the most out of, so you get the most out of that project. And yeah, so you've got the university facilities that you can have access to, and all the library. You've got the opportunity to tap into an academic lead, and also a full-time graduate who will work for you for the duration of the project. I think it's really important because, you know, what's the cost to the company? It's usually for an SME around £25,000 to £30,000 a year for that you know, for the knowledge transfer partnership to work, and for that support. Again, if you want to look at the QR code there in more detail, appreciate there's a lot of information on that. But getting a, you know, and again, there is some case studies, fantastic innovation on all levels, having a fully qualified graduate, also an academic leading in that area, and also you know, the opportunity to use the facilities and the workshops within the university. And nearly there. So South Yorkshire Innovation Programme, you might have come across SIEP. Okay, so this is quite an interesting one. We're actually about 18 months into this initiative. But again, this is funded through SIMCA, but also in partnership with Sheffield Hallam University, the Uni of Sheffield, and Barnsley Met Borough Council, which is great. We were given £3 million for mini projects to work with SMEs in the region. We've done really well with this so far. What I will say is the funding ends in October, so not long to go. So if you are interested in this, again, QR code, get on there, register. Top tip, if you are interested in doing this, it's well worth it for a quick project that maybe, if anything, under or up to £30,000. If you get it in by the 31st of March, then because I think we'll have a cut-off of having to process what we've got in the system till October, from March to October. If you want to get your requests in by then, and it is a lower figure, I'm not saying you can't go for a higher amount of money, but if it's a smaller amount of figure, up to 30,000, there is less red tape and paperwork to go through in order to get that approval. So yeah, certainly have a think about that. And I apologise, it's quite late in the day, but never, better late than never. There might just be something that you think, actually, this could really do with sorting ASAP. It's short, it's quick, it needs to be innovative, it needs to have some element of innovation within your application. Yeah, and then last but not least, student consultancy project. So we're a very applied university, and we made a pledge that in the business school, all our final year business school undergraduates would carry out a consultancy project with a live business or a company on a challenge, rather than do a dissertation, which is can be more research based than applied. So yeah, they do need to research what they're doing, but it'd be definitely about solving a challenge or a problem for you. This is totally free. If you are interested in this, we'd love to have you on board. It's minimum commitment from yourself. It's working with our tutors to come up with a brief that's going to help you. And we've got workshops to do that. They're recorded, you can go online, you can see examples of briefs. They're not very long, we're talking about a couple of paragraphs for the students to work with. We then invite you at the beginning of the semester, and the next cohort of students who are doing this will now be, they're doing them at the moment, so it will be January 2027. So we've got a bit of time. So in the summer, we come to you and ask you to work on a brief. That brief is then shared with all students across the business school, and it's a multidisciplinary option, so they can choose which project they want to work on. So you might have, very much like in the real world, a digital marketing students working with a finance or an economics student, who are also might be a food student if it's a food related company, across the board. So a multidisciplinary team who would choose your project. Once they've done that, we'd ask you just to either, if you're local, to come in January 2027 and just go through the brief of what you really want. So there's an opportunity for Q&A with the students. So we make sure that they hit the ground running on that. And then 6 weeks in, we ask the students, this is usually through Teams, just to present where they're up to and what they've got to, ask any questions or talk about any challenges they've got. And I'd like this to be more of a negotiation at this point. If it's a consultancy, it's not just we give them something to get on with it and they present it. It's challenging what they've been given, talking about the options, seeing which route you want to take, and moving it on from there. And then we invite you in April to a presentation where the students will present their findings and recommendations. I suppose the worst thing that can happen is they present recommendations that you decide you don't want to take up. But I would say again, these students, it's 40 credits. It's a massive part of their final year. And degree classification results. They're keen. Most of them have been out on placement. They're wanting to impress. So we've had, again, some real impact with regards to supporting businesses and helping with their growth. So if you're interested in that, by all means, please get in contact with me and we can make sure that you are invited to the workshops in the summer. Okay, so I think that is me.